I am riding solo today. It's solo lolo. Say that 3 times fast. Solo lolo, solo lolo, solo lolo. I just be yapping, guys. I have to yap. We have to put ourselves out there more. I was running in Central Park and me and this lady converged. We verged because I wanted to keep yapping. What's wrong with this person? Go talk to somebody today. Hello everyone, I am Alona Maher. You might know me from Dancing with the Stars, the Olympics, TikTok, Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover. I've won an ESPY. I have a Barbie doll. I've done many campaigns. I've been on Forbes 30 Under 30. I am also still single. So you riddle me that one. I'm not sure how that's happening, but I'm on the hunt. We'll see. I am riding solo today. It's solo lolo. My producer came up with that. Very smart. You're probably like, why does she look like so beautiful right now? I am in full beat and a full glam because I'm going to the Hannah Montana premiere tonight. And I wanted to add some sparkles to my eyes. So check that out on YouTube if you want a full picture of me, just absolutely gorgeous. I am hosting House of Maher today, a Wave original presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now that's taxes. And also this is a reminder, go get your taxes done. Seriously, it's going to come sooner than you think. And then it will not be fun if you are rushing to get that done. I want you to get to know me a little bit better. I mean, you know me as Rugby, but that's just a small part of me. And so this is my chance to just share. For example, I made a video about this recently, but I am a grade A extrovert. I just be yapping, guys. I have to yap. There's a demon in me that tells me every time you need to talk to that person. You've got to say something. If it's just you and me in an elevator, I need to say, that weather out there, huh? Pretty hot. Why? You know, we can both just ride in silence. For example, if you're walking on an opposite direction, I will do the classic white man. And then I will say, beautiful, isn't it? Be careful back there. Gets a little steep. I don't know what it is. It's just something in me. I love to interact. I love to meet people. I love to get to know things about them. One time, I was running in Central Park, and me and this lady converged. Or we diverged or converged. One of those. But we verged. I started running with her, and we ran, I'm not lying, for 7 miles. The longest I've ever run at an 8-minute, 30-second mile pace. Because I wanted to keep yapping. I wanted to keep chatting to her. We talked about her life. We talked about her kids, her husbands. I think she just has one husband, her husband. We talked about me. She did know me. So I will say being famous is good for extroverts because a lot of people want to talk to you. So if you like talking to people, get famous, then everybody wants to talk to you. It works out like a dream. That's my idea of a good time, honestly. I honestly think life's more fun when you chit chat. I think that talking to strangers and, you know, taking the plunge can lead to so many experiences and memories. It can be awkward at times. It can even be embarrassing. You're going to say weird stuff. Sometimes they're not going to like you. Sometimes they're going to give you a look like, what's wrong with this person? That's okay. You might have missed that one. But there'll be others. But I think that we have to put ourselves out there more, especially in this age of maybe social media and only speaking through a screen. Take the chance. Say hi to the random person in the elevator. Don't go run after somebody, I would say. But if you somehow happen to run side by side together, ask them about their life. We are missing that sometimes, that human interaction, that human connection. And even if you're an introvert, go out there, do it. Everything's on the edge of cringe. What do they say? Every life begins at the end of cringe or something, or life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Go talk to somebody today. Ask them about the weather. That's always good. Coming up on today's show, I'm sitting down with one of the women I admire most. Frankly, she's the best rugby player of all time, Portia Woodman-Wickliffe. And you should all know that. You're going to hear from Alona, the athlete, and we'll talk about the wildest game she and I have ever played together. We're also going to get all into the juicy details of her insane and beautiful real-life romance. She fell in love with her teammate on the road to the World Cup. And that brings me to a brand new segment I like to call Green Flag. Plenty of people have shared their red flags. Let's shine a little light on what we do like, specifically what I like. We talk a lot about what we don't want in a partner, and it's all very valid. But I'm here to share some things that I do want, and I think maybe you all could want as well. A green flag that I have is a man who makes plans. I am somebody who takes control often, and I'm always planning stuff. And I'm always like, okay, we'll do this here, and then do you want me to come pick you up, and we'll go here? All right, I got us a reservation for this time. And I think sometimes I don't let somebody else take control, somebody else like plan it out for me. I recently went on a date with a guy and he's like, no, I'll pick the restaurant. I'll set a time. I'll come over to you. And do you want me to get a car service for you? And when I heard all of that, I was halfway in love with him. I think that it's something so simple, but somebody who takes initiative, who is forethought, has a lot of forethought into like a good date, who plans ahead and shows that they value your time and what you're about to do. So I think that planning a date well is just a sign of respect also for who you're about to go on a date with. Really, my dream date also is just like a good reservation at a restaurant and a bottle of wine. If you can just plan that for me, you're halfway there. That's my green flag. So let's start planning dates, people. Start saying, let's meet here at this time. I've made the reservation. Do you want me to pick you up? You want me to get you an Uber? Are you going to drive yourself? And then confirm on the day. Green flag. Listen up, team. This is a big one. I'm about to introduce you to one of my favorite rugby players. She's a 2-time Rugby World Cup champion, a 3-time Olympic medalist, and she holds the all-time record for the most tries in New Zealand Test rugby history, more than any man or woman ever. That's a lot of tries. She has her own gorgeous Barbie, complete with her signature tamako, and is known globally as the undisputed queen of the rugby field, and that's undisputed. Welcome to the family, the GOAT herself, Portia Woodman-Wickliffe. Yay! Welcome. I see you brought your Barbie. There's mine.
Yes.
Oh my God, she's beautiful.
She's great. It's just there's a lot of kids that love to play with her, so she gets, she's getting well played with. I don't know about yours.
No, I don't have many kids around. Does your daughter play with her?
No, not my daughter, just my nieces and nephews. Like, we've got a lot of siblings with a lot of kids, so she's enjoying her time out from them.
Right. Your daughter's like, I have the real one. It's fine. She's
couldn't
here.
Care less about the real one.
How's it been? How's retirement been?
I've enjoyed it. I've really, really enjoyed hanging out with my girls. Most days I drop them off to work, drop them off to school, making dinners, cleaning, doing like really mundane things that I probably never got to do throughout the season, but I've really enjoyed it. And there's like been bits and bobs of other opportunities popping up as well, but I've really, really enjoyed being home with my girls.
How does your body feel? Do you miss being tackled? Do you want to get out there again?
Not at all. No, not at all.
Right.
I'm sore just waking up, so I can't even imagine like getting out on the field or like doing anything else. But you wouldn't believe it. I've got a boxing fight this weekend too. Just
You're boxing now?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, who's your opponent?
Actually, I don't know that yet because we find out tomorrow night. I think all I've heard is that she's had a couple fights previously.
Now, are you like skillfully trained or are you just going to go in with just a raw passion wanting to just throw some punches? Like what's happening? I mean, your wife's a boxer as well. Has she been helping? How are we feeling?
Yeah, no, it's been a journey, and I think having your wife as your coach can be a little bit hard, like in everyday life, it's okay to be around, but in boxing, and I feel Gumby, like I feel completely out of my comfort zone. And so to have your coach be your wife and tell you what to do, you're like, I don't want to listen to you. So it's been interesting, but I've really, really enjoyed the process, like understanding it as a sport rather than just this really violent piece of, I guess, action, but it's been cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I've done all this technical stuff in the past, but who knows? When I get into the ring, I'll probably just come into a brawler, or I'll just go sit in the corner and cry. There's two ways where I could go. Would you
There's
ever do
only
boxing?
two ways. I don't know if I would, mostly because my mom would not be happy about it. But I would love to do. I like to do like fun classes, boxing classes.
Yeah, totally.
Those are fun.
Totally.
You get in there, you hit that bag. Yeah. Get some anger out. It's perfect. Well, let's get right into tea time. It's brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Portia, I'm so glad to have you here. I have been a fan of you for so long, even before I started playing the sevens. And people always ask me kind of like what it's like to play you and the mindset you have to have going into play you. And I always have to bring up this quote that I love is respect all, fear none. Because I think for me, I'm like, yeah, but she's the best player in the world. Yeah. Like I think there could be an easy bit to fear there, but to me, I have just this absolute respect for you. How has it been, I guess, like being this icon now of rugby? Has it been hard to take that step away, or do you still feel like rugby has given you, I guess, so much, even though you're now retired from it?
Rugby has given me absolutely everything. A wife, best friends, an amazing lifestyle, opportunities that I probably never would have been able to experience without a doubt. But I guess I will always be involved with rugby in some capacity. My wife is the coach. I'm probably not so much the coach, but I'd love to get amongst TV, commentary, all those sort of things, panel work. I want to be involved in and around rugby. If I can, I'm from a small town in the north of New Zealand here, and I would love to give back to the community there, help the pathway, help grassroots rugby. But it's funny you say that, how people would see me as this greatest rugby player, but I remember playing against you and you just showed no fear. And I think it was one of my earlier tournaments that we played against each other was Colorado 2018.
Yeah.
And I just was like, this girl is so strong. And I remember, I think we played against you and you just were fearless. I think you carried the ball like 50 meters down the sideline and everyone was just struggling to tackle you. So from that moment on, it was like Alona Maher is just this amazing, strong female athlete. And I looked up to you then too, because you just showed no fear. And it was amazing to watch that. And for someone who was so new to rugby, who just came out and just smashed it. I loved it. So
that was my heyday. That was a great tournament. I remember, because you guys didn't know who I was yet, so I got out there. I was able to stiff arm off Michaela Blythe, and I'm like, we up! I'm the best player ever. And then in Dubai, the next tournament after, everyone was like stopping me. I said, okay, so you've got to get better. You cannot stay where you are. When did you get into rugby? Because you started as a sprinter, right?
Yeah, so track and field was my sport when I was younger, through to about 16, 17. And then I played netball. Do you know netball?
We don't do netball here.
America?
I know it. We just do basketball.
Oh, yeah. So netball became my main sport because it was the only female sport that had a lifestyle here in New Zealand, Aotearoa. So I wanted to be a silver fern for a really long time. And then when sevens became an Olympic sport, I think it was announced in 2011. A year later, New Zealand Rugby set up this program called Go for Gold in the 2016 Rio Olympics, and I jumped on it. I was still playing netball at the time, but I jumped on this opportunity. I was like, yeah, Olympics has been a dream of mine. Always wanted to be at the Olympics. Obviously, when I was younger, I wanted to be the fastest woman in the world. That doesn't happen. Not many New Zealanders get to the Olympics for sprinting. So when I saw this opportunity to be potentially go to the Olympics, I jumped on it. And in those early stages, there was no money, no support, not a lot around. And I just loved it. But it was more than just a sport, I think I fell in love with. I think you know this as well, is the people, right? It's the connection. It's the environment. It's the changing sheds, or it's the bus rides to the fields or to the trainings. And those are the moments that I fell in love with. And then this game happened to be 100-meter long sprint where I get to run over and through and around people. And I think that's what drew me into it, was just the people and the excitement of the game. And I started when I was 21. So I was a little bit older than what you have now, but still kind of young when I think about it.
No, that is crazy. And also, what do you think about when you run? Because you guys need to look up clips of Portia, the way that she runs with a certain, you're going to get to that try line and no one's going to stop you. I think the high knees you are, because when we played you last, you scored 7 tries. Tough. But what's going through your head? I'm doing this more so I can learn. You tell me so I can learn.
Oh, to be honest, it's fear. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get stopped. And so it's like I've got to run away from these people. It sounds stupid, honestly. Every time I talk about this, people's like, you can't be serious. But it's fear. I want to run away from people. I don't want to get hurt. And I think I'm probably bit of a not as confident in myself, that I'm just like, I got to get somewhere, so it's just got to get there. In those early years, it was very much just catch and run as fast and hard as I can. And later on, it was, I'm not as fast as I am or I used to be, so I've got to try and do everything I can, whether it's running and carrying a few people or running over people or something like that. So I don't know. But you do that too. You smash people. I don't think you need any help with that.
No, I'm still learning myself. I don't know what it is, because my thing is, you also have a little step on you. I'm more of a just go through person. So once I get my step down, it's over. Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna be even better.
You've got the stiff arm. You've got the roll. You've got the rolling bars at the front. Like
I got this one, just a little bump.
Yeah, it works great.
You know how every year we all swear we're going to be on top of our taxes, and then suddenly it's April 15th?
Oh no, that April 15th deadline is coming fast.
But don't worry, you can hand off your taxes to a TurboTax expert today. Honestly, doing taxes the old way is such a mental load. I'm either chasing down updates, trying to work around someone else's schedule, constantly refreshing my email, wondering if they're finished yet.
And you're constantly worried if they missed something. No one needs that stress.
Now, with Intuit TurboTax, you can hand off your taxes to a dedicated full-service expert. They understand your specific tax situation and can do your taxes for you entirely from start to finish, online or in person at one of their new tech-enabled store locations. Have your tax forms directly imported right into the app and hand everything off to your TurboTax expert while they work on your taxes for you and work tirelessly to get you every dollar you deserve.
You can go about your normal routine, giving you time back to go to the gym or finish that book you don't want to put down.
That's definitely what I would rather be doing, but don't wait. Visit TurboTax.com and hand off your taxes to a TurboTax expert today.
I do want to get into your love story, because you fell in love. Did you fall in love at a World Cup or training for World Cup? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so how did that? It was 2013. So before we even like got together, before we were even hanging out like that, I just thought she was the funniest person ever. Like literally everything she said, I was in fits of laughter. And we're going to Amsterdam 2013, and she was there. My mum met us at the airport, or my mum dropped me off at the airport, and I was like, Mum, I really want to meet you. Oh, I really want you to meet this person. Her name's Renee. She's so funny, but she's had such a hard upbringing, like all these sort of things. So I was like, Mum, meet this girl. And I introduced him. It kind of felt awkward. I don't know why, but it kind of felt awkward. But she was just a friend at the time. And I just thought she was the funniest person. And so we start hanging out, we start talking more. And then I'm like, actually, I think I really like you. And then it just kind of led that way. And
yeah,
obviously I'd never been with a girl before. I had a boyfriend previously. And so hanging out with a girl, it just kind of was like talking to a best friend. It was just like having a best mate around all the time. And it was hard in those early stages because not everyone liked the idea of play teammates being together.
Right.
You know, causing problem within the team. You know, if you break up, what happens then? Is it going to be a bit awkward? Is it going to cause disruption within the team? So it was a little bit hard. People trying to, I guess, pull us apart or trying to, you know, sit us down and be like, do you think this is a good idea? Is this going to help you get to the Olympics? What's going to happen here? So it was a little bit hard. But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way because it's made us stronger. It made me really sure that I loved her because, that I have to make this really hard decision. I had to make this decision that, do I love her enough to potentially put things on the line, if that makes sense, you know, like selection into the team, coaches not picking me because they don't want us on the team together, all these sort of things. It made me really sure of myself, which was a beautiful moment. And the hardest part was probably around my mum. Like she had a really traditional view of a relationship. And she had this idea that she wanted me to be with an All Black. Sorry, my mum wanted me to be with an All Black and to have like an easy lifestyle and to have that kind of stuff. I think I went even better. Like I had a Blackburn. She's won. I think she had won 2 World Cups or World Cup at that time.
Right.
You know, like I thought, why not? She did it. She's amazing. And so it took a little bit of convincing for her to come around. But I'm really proud of the fact that I was able to, you know, sit down and talk to her and tell her how important this person is. I'm absolutely sure of myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. And it kind of made me stronger. You know, that moment, having a conversation with my mum made me stronger. And now, honestly, they're like peas in a pod. They're both Geminis. I don't know how the relevance of that. I don't really get into star signs, but it just so happens that they're both Geminis and they have the same emotional variety. And it's just beautiful now because they get along so well. And just the two of us, we're very different, but have the same values. And I'm really grateful for it. I couldn't imagine someone who's like, I couldn't imagine having someone the same outgoingness as me and me, or her being with someone just as quiet. So I think we're perfectly different, but perfectly aligned as well.
How was it coming out at that time? Or when did you fully come out? And like, was it, you know, I am straight, I haven't had to come out, but was it like tough for you in the media, still being in New Zealand, a star, and like, how did you, I guess, do it? And when did you feel like it was time to?
Yeah, it was strange, but in my mind, I didn't, like, you know, when you're straight, you don't really have to come out. So I was like, well, it doesn't really matter to me. So I'm just like,
right.
I'm with this person. What's the problem? Right. And then came conversations like, do you think this is going to help you with your brands? Like, what if you want to get a big brand and they don't agree with you being in a same-sex relationship? Or don't you think fans are not going to like you because you're in a same-sex relationship? Like, these are the comments that came around.
Right.
And I really didn't pay any attention to it. I was like, well, if they don't like me and they don't like that part of me, then so be it. If a big brand doesn't like that I'm in a same-sex relationship, then it's not meant to be. And for me, it was kind of like, oh, well, I love this person and I'm going to be with this person. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, then be on your way. But there were moments within the team environment that kind of made it a bit difficult. And the coach particularly probably didn't like that we were in a relationship, purely because of the team dynamics that it could disrupt whatever, you know, if there's a breakup and things like that, like I said. But in the whole, I couldn't care less what anyone thought.
I love that. I think that's awesome. And also, don't you guys play the same position too?
Yeah. So that got a little bit, awkward a couple times.
I mean, hey, you know what? Making each other better. I would say if my man's ever tackled me as I was about to score a try, I would hate him. But you learned it. Hey, makes you stronger, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely does. And there were times like we would have Black Friends 15s trials, and this one game, I swear they didn't tell us about it prior to the actual names coming out, but they put us against each other on the same wing, and we both looked at each other and go, bro, what are we going to do? And I remember getting the ball and I look up and she's in front of me and she's laughing. I'm laughing. I go to step and kind of like, you know, I guess bump her off a little bit. And then she's already falling over and laughing and crying. And I'm just like, you made that worse. And I'm trying to like run past, like, you made that way worse than it needed to be. And then on the way home, we like had to drive home from camp. And it was like, I was driving and I was like, do you want KFC? She's like, yeah.
and then it was fine over chicken. And then you kissed and you made up and it's okay.
Totally. Chicken makes it so much better. But it did get a little bit awkward.
No, no doubt. I've had the pleasure of meeting Renee a couple times. Every time she's like, hey, how are you? She's so nice. She's like, I love what you've done for the game. I'm like, thank you so much, Renee. That means so much to me. She's really she's like such a big supporter of you now that she doesn't really play. She's at all the games. When we were in the recent game we played each other, I got to see her. So it's just so cool to see, like, though she's not in it, she's such a big supporter of you, wants you to succeed as well. And also, I mean, both of you are just such fans of rugby in general. And I love fans of mine. I think there was one time we were in Santa Monica. We were somewhere after LA tournament. And you were like, I just got to stop you. You have done so much. You are so great. So even like hearing that from yourself the GOAT, I'm like, oh man, like I love that I'm affecting even the people who I look up to so much. It's because I just, again, from our first tournament to now, I'm really proud of it.
Oh, you've done amazing things, and I appreciate everything. Like, you are your authentic self, and there's something that we always talk about, right? Like, no matter what space you step into, you are your authentic self. Wherever we see you on TV, in these situations, or on the rugby field, or at the bar after the game, like, you are who you are, and that is exactly what I love. And you bring people in, you appreciate them for who they are, and you tell stories in such beautiful ways. Even how you post so many TikToks, I'm just like, you're so creative. How do you do it all? You're amazing.
The TikTok we did in New Zealand did so well together.
Totally.
Remember
That's so good.
The one where I was like, because Portia retired like last year, and then she came back for the World Cup, and I was like, what the heck? So I was like, hey, I have this idea. Like, let's do this thing where you push me out of the way. And it like went pretty viral. People loved it. I was like, you know what? I think, and then people were commenting like, wow, rugby's gone downhill or something. But I think that's what's special also about the women's game is the way that we can interact with each other and uplift each other. Because though, we're friends and we can have such conversation on the field, we are going out there to fuck shit up, to beat you up. And I mean, I think during that last game together, it was you versus me. I was like, don't worry, guys, I'm getting her. Don't worry. This time, guys, I'm going to stop her. And I think I made there every time you score a try, I'm somewhere around you trying to pull you, or I'm like just an inch too late, but I'm so close every time.
Every time I got the ball and look up, there's Alona. I was like, damn it, girl. You're everywhere.
I've played you so much, so I like slightly knew what she was gonna do. Or like when I was playing against Stacey Walker, I was like, okay, Stacey's gonna step back in this time. So I slightly knew. So I was like, don't worry, guys. And there's one image of me actually physically pushing my team out of the way because I knew that I could overtake her to take you down. God, I was putting in a shift there. That was a tough game. I want to actually hear more about, I remember back in, it was maybe 2019 or something. With rugby comes so many injuries and we have to learn how to deal with it. But I remember you did your Achilles, like it was before the Tokyo games, and we were all like, holy, like frick, like Portia might not be able to make the games. And then the games were postponed. I always think about that. I'm like, wow, like some things just happen for a reason or whatever it is, like for you to injury. And after also like Rio games, can you talk to me about that and how that felt as injuries and how you progressed to get back to the Tokyo games and win a gold medal?
Yeah. That year I did my Achilles, it was like really hard because I hadn't really experienced anything that significant before. I think my previous biggest injury was like my back or something, and that took me out of the game for maybe 4 months, so not too bad. But this one I knew instantly. When I heard the pop, looked around, thought someone had kicked me or something, that's the telltale sign of an Achilles tendon rupture, right? Is that you look around and think someone's kicked you in the back of your leg. And there was no one there. I knew instantly. I was like, oh. And then I rolled around on the ground crying with my leg up in the air. Like I look back and I'm like, you're such a baby. Why'd you cry like that? But it was more of the reflection that I'm going to be out for like 12 months. This is a big deal. And knowing it was the end of 2018, heading into, excuse me, 2019, the Olympics was 2-3 years away. This is going to be a big push to get back. And it just kind of dawned on me that there was such a big task to come back for it. And there were moments throughout that journey. I think the hardest part was I was out of the moon boot. I was back into walking, and I could do some stuff out on the field. And I was on the field watching the girls train, but I wasn't close enough to train with them. Those were the moments when I kind of figured, man, I'm still ages away and I haven't even started running with them yet, let alone, being out on the field and being in contention for the team heading to the Olympics. And man, it was wild. It was such a wild time. But I'm extremely grateful for my friends, Sarah and Kelly. The day I did it, they brought me home, sat me on the ground they brought my mattress out into the lounge, sat me on the bed, brought me my ice cream and chocolate and set up the movies and stuff for me. I wouldn't have been able to survive that injury if it wasn't for my support group. My wife at the time, she was away playing in Chicago, I think, for Black Ferns. So she didn't get back for like another two weeks. So it was just me. I stayed home with my mum and dad. Like, it was just this really wild time. But getting back to Tokyo, I was so grateful that it got postponed a year, right? Like,
because I actually remember the video of you doing your Achilles because nobody was around, and you put on your story, and I was like, that's crazy. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she might miss the Olympics. And then for it to be pushed, I'm like, okay, well, Portia's back now. We're ready to go. But I think it just was so cool for you to make it. And for those that don't know, like, Black Fern Sevens are the top in the world, have been for years and years and years. And I'm interested, like, what is, as a culture, as a team, what is the mindset of your team that creates such success? That, I mean, an undisputed success in sport.
I think there's a lot to it, right? And I think we're really fortunate that, you know, the native people of our country is Maori, and everyone who's in our teams, whether it's, you know, basketball, netball, rugby, cricket, soccer, we all acknowledge that the native culture is Maori, and with that, there comes a responsibility, right? You know, to uphold, to give thanks to the culture that is native to here, Aotearoa, New Zealand, and with that also comes that within different team cultures and team environments, they have aspects of Māori culture throughout it. And for us as a Sevens environment, ours is all about the values that Māori live up to. And we have these things that's called manaakitanga, which I guess is about how you treat people when they come into your environment. We have whanaungatanga, which means your connection with people, understanding who they are, where they come from, what makes them light up. Aroha, which is all about love and support and passion. And so these aspects, they're in and around the world no matter what. But I think in Māori worldview, we hold them in such high standard that when we bring them into our team environments, that's what the team live by. And you don't necessarily have to be Māori to live by those values or to understand those values. We give a brief explanation of what they mean and how you can see them and how you can portray them. Say to like Michaela Blyde, who's a Pākehā girl, who's a New Zealander, doesn't have any Māori ethnicity to her. So she buys into it. She loves it. She gives it, acknowledges those values in any way she can. With manaakitanga, with the way you treat people, she's so cool to hang out with our young girls. And so I think that's what makes our environment really, really special, is we have this culture that we all live by within the team environment. And that makes me really happy because I'm proud to be Māori. That to me is my superpower. That to me is the reason why I have the gifts that I've been given. And when we go out into the world, we take that with us, and we acknowledge that that is who we are, who we represent. We represent our people, our family, and our culture. And I think, how does that give us that step into performance, high performance step up? I guess I think it gives us a sense of belonging. You know, when you go into an environment and you feel like your voice is heard, your opinions matter, and what you do and what you say is perfect in every way, then you feel this sense of confidence, right? Like I have never experienced an environment like rugby before, and I've grown so much. There's no way I would have been able to, I guess, have a conversation like this online or on TV and speak in front of people without the confidence that I've learned within this environment, and that comes from a sense of belonging. And I think we're really fortunate in that. There's a long road to go ahead, you know, like I think we can learn a lot within this environment, and we've made some mistakes in the past as well. But I think the biggest I think we take from Black Ferns is that we have this amazing culture that we all kind of live by and understand and love to portray to the world and take it around the world with us.
I think it's kind of the same. It's like if you can have a mission that you're so clear on that everybody here is like, this is what the mission is, it just bonds you in such a way that, okay, we're going out to this field for that reason. And for, I think a lot of people who like know rugby or know the All Blacks or the Black Ferns, they know the haka. And I've faced it once in 15s, which is when they do it before the game, and then face it many times in 7s, which they do it after winning a tournament. Explain to people what the haka is, because I think people in America are like, yeah, it's this really cool thing they do before games, but there's such a deeper meaning. And then when you get chosen to lead the haka, that's an even different thing. And you've done that a couple times. And then I've seen you guys, you do the haka after or before somebody gets their 50th cap, or they hit a huge milestone, or somebody retires. So for you, the haka is just greater than, but you'll explain this, greater than just something you do before a game. It has a deeper, deeper meaning.
Yeah, without a doubt. So our haka, back in the day, long before there was any civilization or anything else, when it was just Māori here in New Zealand, haka was a challenge in some sense. There'd be a tribe in the northern part of the country heading to the southern part of the country. If they meet, they'll set a challenge, and it'll be their way of determining, are you here as an enemy or are you here as a friend? And so that's like the real basic form of haka. And there is more parts of it. There's action songs. There's the poi that we had at the World Cup.
Oh, I know poi.
In 22. Yeah.
I've tried it. I've tried some poi.
I bet it.
For those wondering,
too.
Explain the poi for those wondering, though.
Okay, so for a poi, it's a piece of string, a knotted string with a foam ball at the end of it, and it used to be for men to practice to strengthen their wrists. Back in the day, it used to be a rock, but nowadays it's a soft foam, and it's an action song. It's a beautiful action song, and so haka is one part of this real amazing part of our culture is kapa haka, and there's an action song, a poi song, a haka song, and then there's so many other aspects to it. Whereas now haka is seen to be done in so many different moments. Times of celebration, like you see for us as sevens, we do it after we win a tournament. Moments of celebrating our 50th match players or 250th try players, or if we have a player leaving because they're either injured, it's like a beautiful way to farewell them. Even in New Zealand, we have haka at a funeral. We call it a tangi, and we do a haka to the person who's being taken away by the hearse, or to the funeral home. So a haka can be performed in so many different beautiful situations, and that acknowledges the moment. And so when you see our haka for Blackfern Sevens specifically, it is about we've set the challenge. It talks about Blackferns are here we're going to take down, we're rumbling through the crowds, through the games, and we're going to take on anyone that stands in front of us. We're proud to be women. We're proud to be strong, beautiful women. And at the end of the day, women will triumph, kind of thing. Like that is the basic gist of what the haka is. And so everyone understands it. Again, it comes down to being Māori, being from New Zealand. We're all really, really proud to represent that. And with a leader in the team, I'm a leader in terms of haka, but in the New Zealand world, I'm so far not. But I take it as such a huge responsibility that I can represent our culture, and I can lead it and take it to places that not all our people get to see. So we have the responsibility of making sure everyone knows the haka, and if you don't, you're going to look like an egg on TV. So it's up to you if you want to learn it.
Right.
We have a responsibility making sure that it flows and it works well with the people that are performing it. So from when we first did our haka in sevens to now, the actions have changed, and we have that responsibility and ability to change the actions to how we want and how we think the team can move with it, because we want our girls to feel confident. And if it's a movement or an action that they're not comfortable with, or we don't quite look good doing it, then we're going to change it. So I think as a leader, it's such a huge responsibility and obligation that we can give back to our culture, our team, and making sure that our team looks amazing whenever we perform it.
One thing is so cool about our jobs is how much we get to travel the world. I mean, how many times have you been to Dubai now?
Wow, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot.
You've probably been like 10 times.
Probably. Like, I think it's our favorite one. Would you say that's one of your favorite ones?
It's one of my favorite is probably South Africa now.
Oh,
but I love Dubai. I think that it's just such a great tournament. I love South Africa. So what's wild is like we all come from such different places, yet we go around the world and travel and play against each other. And that's again what's so beautiful about rugby is we're opponents, and yet afterwards we've spent many a nights just having fun, you know, chatting it up. Like, you've literally stiff-armed me in the face, and I was like, that was a great one, good job. I think there's something so different about rugby, and especially rugby sevens, which is really something I wish more people got to experience.
Yeah, same. And, you know, people always ask me, like, are you guys friends? I'm like, yeah, we see them almost more than we see our family, because
Right.
we travel to a tournament, say we have 7 tournaments a year, we're with them that whole week, having breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, you know? And after the tournament, we have a really good time sharing stories and having a yarn and talking
Sharing
about games.
stories.
You know,
Yeah.
like you totally, it's not this real rivalry where you're like butting heads and you don't talk or anything like that. It's this beautiful connection that you go out and smash each other, get absolutely rolled by Alona Maher, and then you go and have a drink with her at the bar afterwards. Like, it's such a beautiful moment, and I don't know how many opportunities you get to do that in the world.
I don't think many. I think we are in such an interesting position, whereas I learned so much from you about your culture, and then I can learn from the Japanese team, and I learned about them, and they were like, we call you Marchan, and I got to learn why, you know, they said that to me. Like, it's an interesting environment we're in, and I'm missing it at times, but I also think, like, wow, the things I've learned have been taking me on to real life as well, and I think it's just made me a better person. But that was just a divergent on what I wanted to say. Let's get back to favorite tournament around. Like, what's a favorite game you've ever played? Something that really sticks with you?
I think Dubai will always be a favorite, because it was, I think, when you debut for a team, or when you got a contract for a team, Dubai was like the first tournament you went to.
Right.
Especially in terms of our contracts. So Dubai is a favorite, and it's something like, it's a country that's completely different to New Zealand. You have a rugby field in the middle of the desert, and then you have skyscrapers because people are rich enough that they can build them. Whereas, you know, in countries like New Zealand, we have to go up because there's not a lot of space, or, you know, like, it's just such a different world. And so to be in Dubai, that's amazing. I love Paris. I love Europe. So playing in Paris 2018, World Series, then going to the Olympics in 2024. I love Paris. That's a beautiful city. And then you just have like London, and then Amsterdam was a really cool tournament as well. It's just hard. I really can't nail it down to one tournament. I think they all bring different aspects, and you have different memories associated with each tournament.
Favorite 15s game?
15s game, probably the tournament here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I didn't have much faith, unfortunately. I didn't have a lot of faith in New Zealand turning up, and so to get to the final, standing there singing our anthem, and I could look up into the crowd at Eden Park, and it was stacked to the brim, like, that made me really emotional. I felt, it's quite funny to say that now, but if I had just, like, that was the end of the tournament, I would have been happy, and who would have known that I would have gone to sleep on the side of the field 20 minutes into that game. But like, that was...
yes. Right.
Yeah. But that tournament was unbelievable. I think even, you know, playing in Whangarei, you would have been up to Whangarei to watch the girls?
I did. I was so honored I got to go to New Zealand just to watch for Aotearoa for the World Cup. And they did it so well. And again, what they did, they brought the culture, and I was using the poi, they brought that out to fans to like move in the stands. It was an amazing time, and for you guys to win at home, I actually kind of I think I'm more of like, I'm not an underdog rooter, like I want to root for the home team, and I was like, let's go. And so for you guys to win, I think we need those to change rugby in those areas. Do you think even in New Zealand, like, rugby is still, for women, we need to continue to rise? I know it's big in America. We need to show that women can play rugby. Even in England, there's still like prejudice against women's rugby.
Yeah, I think we do need to show people that we can still play rugby. Obviously, that comes with resourcing and growing from grassroots to professional game, and making sure, I think the pathway needs to be really clear, especially for sevens. Like, I don't know if there's a very clear pathway on how you actually get into the Black Fern Sevens team. So I think there's always a lot of work to do in that sense, that young girls, whatever they choose to decide, or, you know, they have the opportunity to pick 15 sevens. How do I get there? You know, I think that's probably the biggest part. That World Cup definitely helped. So my daughter was playing in an all-girls team in club here in New Zealand, and that year or the year after that World Cup, we had like 10 new girls come to our team. And that was amazing. And it was purely because they saw that World Cup. And that happened right across the country. The hardest part is obviously keeping them in the game right until they're women. That's the next stage. But it's definitely risen the profile and given visibility to the game to show that their parents, it's actually a really cool sport, and it's really tactical and really skillful and not as scary as you think it is. And nannies and grandparents and aunties and caregivers, whoever's looking after their daughters, it's actually a really beautiful sport. And the opportunities that come from it has definitely shown that there's an option for girls to go whichever way they want to. And I think that World Cup definitely played a big part of it here in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
And your last game was just this past World Cup at still a very packed Twickenham.
Oh my gosh.
I think that even you guys, there's these images. So at the World Cup, it was 2 games a day for the final. They did the bronze medal match before the gold medal match. And I think a lot of us were like, okay, it's a bronze medal. Like, I was there, but I was like, hopefully people go. But the gold medal is the big ceremony. But you guys got off the bus and there was thousands of people. I think there's an image of you crying as well, because there was just so many people there to welcome you, because it wasn't the gold medal match, but people wanted to see you play. And it was your last match.
Exactly.
As a Black Fern.
We totally didn't think. We were like, we even talked about it in the prep. Like, people probably aren't going to be there. So we've got to make it the event that we know it can be. And then when we turned up and we could barely get down the road or get into the stadium, and seeing the people crying and screaming, and they're wearing like an English jersey, a South African jersey, a New Zealand jersey, Australian, like people from all cultures backing different teams were there to support the bronze medal match. And we never would have expected that. Like it was such a beautiful moment. I thought those tears that you saw, walking into the stadium, were pure joy and just amazement that people were there to support us. And, like in the early stages, there was nobody that turned up to stadiums, nobody in the crowds.
Right.
Nobody was at the buses watching us get off the bus just to catch a glimpse of us. So, it made me really, really emotional and just really proud to see how far the game has come in the last 13 or so years.
There was a World Cup in Dublin, and I think they were only getting out a few thousand. To go from a few thousand to 60,000, I think, plus for your bronze medal match. You got to see the growth of the game. It's, even for me, I've seen from playing in a small stadium in like Glendale, and then, massive stadiums all over the world. I think we still have a long way to go. And sometimes I hope we're not falling back in terms of sevens, but I just think there's, from what we've built, what you've built, what we've helped to build, there's so much more we can do, and hopefully more people that can get into it.
You know what I also love about you is that you've embraced makeup, and people call you the lipstick girl, and I was like, I didn't even realize that you wore lipstick. But when I know now that you embrace makeup and you just wear it, and you've created these amazing opportunities for yourself with all your makeup brands, I think that is just absolutely beautiful, because it's, how else do we feel so elegant, or how else are we supposed to feel beautiful on such aggressive rugby pitch?
Yeah.
And I think you do it so amazingly.
Well, and also, like, we're just such put into a box about like how we're supposed to dress and how we're supposed to act. And you've probably gotten the same thing. Oh, rugby women, this is that and there. And so it was like my little way to say F you, because, and I actually love the other players who put on full beats. Like now, because sometimes we'll share locker rooms together, we'll share bathrooms. I'll see the Irish girls putting on a full beat, Australians like getting ready to go, because it's not going to take away from how hard we hit. And
no, totally.
They look beautiful. So I think that's something that's really cool about us, is like, I think women's rugby is changing the tone of how it's perceived around the world.
Yeah. And I think it allows people to just express themselves. We have so many different characters and personalities within each team. So why not give them the opportunity to express themselves? I remember when we first started wearing lashes, the uproar from some of the past players were not very happy, because it was not rugby. It's not the way we do things. But it was just like, I want to look pretty on the field. Like, why can't I wear these lashes that hurt my eyes and flutter around when I'm running around on the pitch? Like, but it made me feel confident. Yeah, totally. So I appreciate what you're doing too, and allowing people just to express themselves on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I love makeup. Why not? I'm wearing a full beat right now. Portia, we're going to go into a segment called Try Hard. Usually at this part, I have to explain what a try is for people. I'm like, a try in rugby is when you score that. But with you, you know it. So with these, it's just rapid fire questions. You can answer as long as you want, as fast as you want. It's just some questions for you. All right. Go-to coffee order.
I don't drink coffee.
Oh my gosh. What do you drink?
A lemon honey ginger.
Okay.
I'm a little old lady.
Interesting. You've never drank coffee?
I don't really care for it. Like, it's
Good
not
on
my
you.
thing. Yeah.
That's okay. That would be our big thing whenever we would go places, was finding coffee shops.
Yeah,
What did you
and
guys-
that gets
what did
awkward
you
because
do?
nobody invites you if you don't drink coffee. So I'm like, can I come have a hot chocolate or a lemon
Yeah.
honey? Or
What's something in your house that's really special to you?
I have this painting that my auntie created for me, and it has my wife's Black Ferns jersey, number 14 on it, and then it has my Black Fern jersey on it, and it has a number 11 in our favorite place, which is our beach up north. So it's probably one of my favorite paintings that were ever created because it was unexpected, and it's just such a beautiful way of displaying who we are.
I love that. What is one thing everyone should try if they go to New Zealand?
Pies, steak and cheese pies. All the pies here in Aotearoa, New Zealand are amazing. I think the last time in the World Cup in 2022, we heard that the USA girls went to the bakery up in Whangarei and bought every single pie, because that is how you're supposed to do it, is try every single pie possible. So yeah, meat pies here in New Zealand.
Yeah, they did that, and then they got articles written about it, like, wow, these girls are eating so much pies. We're like, okay, first off, we're athletes, we eat a lot of food,
Yeah.
but I guess the pie shop loved them. Sorry they were supporting local businesses, okay?
They loved it. That's all they kept talking about. It was great.
What's one thing you always seek out when you go to America?
In-N-Out burger,
Mm-hmm.
like some kind of beach, if it was Santa Monica or some kind of beach way, or just some like hearty food, like
Yeah.
barbecue grill place, or Mexican food.
Yep.
I know it doesn't make sense that, but the Mexican food here in New Zealand isn't as authentic or isn't as
1,000%.
good. So love going to America and having Mexican food.
Best post-game celebration drink.
I can go two ways. I could have like a vodka lemon lime bitters, or I could go a bourbon and cola. So it depends on how I want the night to go or what mood I'm in. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite night out from tour?
Oh, we went to Vegas one year. It was after the Olympics. That was amazing. We got put into, we went to a club. We had booths. I think we're one of the only ones there. Everyone got invited. So like all the placemakers at the Olympics in Australia, New Zealand, Canada. I think you guys got invited to Vegas, and there was like special VIP booths with all the drinks that we wanted. And then we got invited on stage with the DJ, and we felt like we were absolute superstars jumping on stage with them. That was like one after party that I'll never forget completely. Yeah, there's so many, but that's because I'm
I have, it's kind of crazy. I have a lot too. One of mine though is in Biarritz when we won our first ever tournament. That was a wild, that was a feeling to win a tournament. I was like, this is different. I mean, but we were like, we would go from one bar to the next bar, then we went into this club, and that tournament was only women too, so the energy was just like so fun. And we went into this club. I'd lost my contacts, so I was wearing only glasses. But I remember Abby Burton like hoisted me over her shoulder, was like, let's go nightclub. And we went to a nightclub, and my family was there. My sister was there. I just remember, I have a lot of stories. You probably have a lot of stories as well. But the times we have after, it's almost like worth it for the amount we put our body under during the time.
Completely. And you're like, you want the connections. Like, I think I love the connections, with the Irish girls, the Japanese girls, the Fijian girls, the USA girls, like just connecting with people and hearing their stories and talking trash and all of this sort of stuff. Like, I think it's the reason why, or it gives you the effect after the games that you've been working so hard for. And I think like
Absolutely.
I didn't go to Biarritz because I was still injured, but like there's moments throughout my career, I guess, that really highlights some of my favorite moments with people, like off the field. And it's like having kava with the Fijian girls, or having, going out all night with the Irish girls. Like there's some of my absolute favorite moments, because you just let loose and you're just treated as a person.
Well, I was just with Jordan Conroy and Eve Higgins, and even them just like chatting with them about the stuff and how it used to be. We were like 2018, 2019 was the heyday. We did so much. We got it. It really was. It was a wild time of exploring the world with people, all in one goal of trying to be the best rugby player you can be and the best team you can be, but also knowing this is once in a lifetime.
Yeah, completely.
I miss it. I'm gonna go back. I'm going back, Portia. I miss it. I'll be
you
there.
Are.
I'm taking some time. I'll be there. I gotta hopefully play in a home Olympics. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. That'd be
You're
amazing.
not allowed to come out of retirement. I swear to God, if I see you, I swear if I see you on that list, I'm done. I'm pissed. Portia, thank you so much for coming over to the House of Maher, a Wave original. Be sure to watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, follow the show on social media at House of Maher for clips and behind-the-scenes content. Portia, I love you. I'll see you soon. You going to Hong Kong?
Yes, girl. I'll see you
I'll
there.
be there too. I'll see you there.
Yay!